Paranormal. It surrounds us. It's everywhere. Tonight, you will hear from the people who live and work within these highly active locations, all in the efforts to discover America's most haunted. With your host, ghost hunter and author, Dan Terry.
Well, I don't know about you, but that opening scared the out of me. Hi, friends. It's Dan Terry. Welcome to Most Haunted. We're back again. And I want to say a special shout out to you dudes and demons and all those creeping creatures stalking the night. If you're looking for Most Haunted, you have found it. And we're ready to start, because what I've got for you tonight is one of those things that I find to be the scariest, the worst part of ghost hunting. And that's when you come across a demon. And Steph Brady, the paranormal angel, she started Spirit Paranormal Investigations of Texas many years ago. And over 15 years ghost hunting. Not recently, but sometime back, she found herself in the midst of a demonic haunting, which I know how she feels. I've done that myself. And like me, she went to the experts, and she has been helping out on demonic cases ever since. So this is a person I have a high respect for. And I will tell you, folks, I had one, and I'm not even totally sure about it, but it had the hallmarks of a demonic case. And it always got me, these folks who watch television who believe you can cut off a demon's head, or you can stake it through the heart, or you can somehow get rid of it. I have dealt with ghost hunting groups who had team members who were having relations with married women on the team. They were stealing. And then they thought somehow these people were moral enough and clean enough to go up against a demonic entity. This calls for someone very special. And let me introduce you right now to one of those people, Steph Brady. Steph, I can't even begin to say how much I admire anyone who can deal with these things, because they scare me. This is something I can't fight. I was a cop for 30 years. I had a gun. I have a nightstick. None of this is useful to me.
I was just kind of thrown into it.
And I was too, but I backed out afterwards because I knew I was in over my head. What made you stick around and lead this fight?
Because all of my cases since the pandemic have turned out 9 out of 10 are demonic.
Is there an upsweep?
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay. And tell me about your first one like that.
The first one, let me think. It was way back. It was the shadow demon, actually. And it had possessed a 15-year-old girl.
And what did you call it?
A shadow demon.
Okay, shadow. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And Father gave her some holy water, and that brought out the demon in it.
Okay.
And so we had to hold her while he was doing his prayers.
How long did that take?
That took about 45 minutes.
I know the St. Louis case took months.
Yeah, this one was easier.
Well, I'm glad for that. And how is the young lady today?
She's doing awesome. What was scary, though, is the demon whispered in Father's ear, and he said the brother is next. So he wanted to kill the uncle. The demon did. So Father had him come over and advise him what to do. It was scary.
So the demon had another target in mind and an
Yeah.
eventual death in
Exactly.
mind.
Exactly. I don't know how it turned out.
Now tell me, just if you know, and maybe you don't, but
Yeah.
why did the creature decide to go after this family? Did they do something wrong?
They invited it in. It came
Oh,
as a small child. So she invited it in.
really?
Yeah.
So was she doing a Ouija board? Was she doing a
No, it
no?
came she's sensitive.
Okay,
So it was
okay.
drawn to her. And she, as a small child, so she
Mhm.
offered to have it come stay with her, how they present themselves,
Oh, yeah.
and played with it, etc. And then
And
that was 5 years later.
it took 5 years.
It took
I am
5 years
surprised
to
before it
get,
showed its true
yeah,
face.
exactly. It did this time, definitely.
That surprises me. I did not think they would hold that long if they had that kind of a foothold.
Yeah, they do. They
Mhm.
definitely do. It depends on the case and the person.
Well,
Yeah.
again, that kind of stuff just frightens me. But of course, I read The Demonologist back in the 80s by
Right.
Gerald Brittle,
Yeah.
and Father Malachi Martin's book on Hostage to the Devil, and
Yeah.
several others. And all of that reading and study just made me decide I don't want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
I'll stick to a ghost.
I'm lucky. I don't have any fear going in.
Oh,
Never did, never will, I think.
well, it scared me
So,
enough.
yeah.
But also, not only now you're looking into hell of
Right.
these things, but you faced down the hell of cancer.
I did. 3 years ago, I had tonsil cancer.
Really?
Yeah, I had my tonsils out when I was 4.
Uh-huh.
So I'm 3 years out from it now, clean.
Okay.
I
So
stay cured.
your tonsils were removed
When I was 4
many
years
years
old.
ago.
Yeah.
And yet, because mine were removed when I was 6, and
Right.
I could still get cancer from that or
There's
with that?
still a base. The
I'll be
base of
darned.
it. Yeah. Yeah,
I
definitely.
Oh, wow. No, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Amazing.
exactly.
So you went through and survived that.
Yeah.
Now you're fighting
Demons.
the only other hell, yes.
Right.
But you started out with ghost hunting in the Houston area.
Exactly.
What kind of system or what kind of situations was you coming into there? That's a
Just
historic area.
spiritual haunts. People had spiritual haunts. We tried to cross them over and then move them on. And if they didn't, we did a total cleanse, kind of kick them out.
Okay. I have found myself, and maybe it's something I'm doing, but a human
Yeah.
spirit is very difficult to remove. If he doesn't
is.
want to go, that's it.
Yeah. He's got will just like we do.
Right.
And they're stubborn.
They can be. I have convinced some to stay quiet or to move on or
Right.
to, at very least, not do what they were doing. But
Exactly.
yeah, I've never been able to make one leave. Have you been able to do that
Yeah.
with your cleansing?
Yeah. Yeah. It used to be like 90% of the time they were able to go.
Wow. Well, tell me about a cleansing. How do you do that?
I do it with frankincense and myrrh. We go from the back of the house to the front, pushing it out. And it creates a lot of smoke. We use the resin, and we say a prayer in every room, and gradually move it out the front door.
Does prayers do anything for a human spirit?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't know if that would work for them or not.
Yeah, it seems to. It really seems to.
I know I've seen sage calm them down, but in a few days they're back, and
yeah,
now they're just mad at me. So,
and demons, I know they hate sage. Some of them.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
but I've also the people I've used or worked with in these cases, they're not ones to believe in crystals or smoke or any of that. For them, it's prayer, water, blessed salt.
Yeah, I use that too. Oil, that sort of stuff. But you know what? Oh, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I was going to say, with the exorcisms, when the demon was in charge, and every time the people came back to us, they all told me the same thing. They were in hell with the demons watching them. So, in fact, their soul was in hell while the demon was in charge.
Now, I'd always heard or read that the soul was there and just unable to do anything. Because don't they come out of it every now and again?
No. They
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
The demon was there. I've had 4 people tell me
Uh-huh.
right when they woke up, and they didn't know each other. Didn't
Mhm.
mention anything. So that was around it for me.
Did they describe it to you?
Just they had big demons watching them. One said Satan was there in the front, and
Whew.
that's about it. Yeah,
Yeah, I got chills. So
yeah, I know.
I'm sure plenty of the folks watching this has chills too. But did they describe is hell fire, brimstone, and
Cold.
tortured
They said it was.
screaming?
They said it was cold.
I've
That's
heard
all
that
they
from
said.
others.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's the only description they gave me.
So it's cold and the demons
Yeah.
were guarding them,
Guarding
I guess.
the soul.
Oh,
Exactly.
not
'Cause
not allowing them to leave?
exactly.
Could they
Until
have?
no, they couldn't have. Not as long as the demon was in charge.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never talked to anyone about the nuts and bolts of a exorcism.
Right.
The folks I worked with did mostly, well, all I ever saw was cleansing. We got there
Right.
before during the infestation stage.
Okay. Okay.
So we
Yeah.
never I've never seen an exorcism. Friends of mine had talked about one they did near where we used to live in Missouri that
Right.
said they actually believed this person was going to die from the vomiting afterwards. It was so much.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
expecting lungs to come out. They were
Yeah, I've
retching
seen
so
that.
hard. There was bruising on
Right.
them.
Right.
So that's all part of expelling it,
It's
I
all
guess.
part of expelling it, definitely.
Wow.
I have a case right now. She has lost 80 pounds. She's down to a stick.
Oh.
The doctors can't figure out what's wrong with her. Her stepdaughter had put a pentagram on the wall because she was mad at it. And that started the demons. And then she put a spell on her, supposedly.
So all it took was a pentagram on the wall?
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Well, obviously she wanted it, or she wanted something. That was an invitation, I assume.
Yeah, it was an invitation from the stepdaughter to her stepmother.
Did it ever cross your mind, because it has mine, that the legends of vampires happening to be invited into a home comes directly from the demonic fighting?
Right, exactly.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, fairies and all that kind of stuff. According to Father.
We've also heard that the demons can't cross moving water, because that was an old vampire legend from some areas. But
see, I never heard that.
I've heard it, but I believe what they should say is it has to find a way around it. It doesn't.
Okay.
If it's true.
Right.
Because I've also heard of these things going from coast to coast with the same family.
Oh, yeah, they'll follow, without a doubt. They will follow.
So if I understood you, the girl was mad at her mother or someone?
The stepdaughter was mad at her stepmother. She had asked her to move out, so she was mad. So she put the pentagram on it, and the boyfriend actually urinated on it.
Oh, wow.
I know. What?
Aside from just being gross, that's
right? Exactly.
Begging. So what happens to the people who call it in? I mean, they're the ones who would be the number one target, or number two at least.
No, they weren't bothered at all. It's just amazing. We went in there, took out the pentagram, but that wasn't enough. So Father came in, got rid of him, but then the stepson came in and was mocking the demons. If you're real, come back. Come and show me. And so it's back now again.
Why would you do that? I mean, do they not know what they're going through?
I believe it. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just these people, they must be going through a terrible time. These demons don't play fair. They go after health. They go after your bank account, your car, anything to drive you to depression.
Finances. There's planks of wood flying around. She's got bruises on her inner thigh. I got scratched there 3 times when I went.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on.
And yet they invited it back.
Yeah, he invited it back.
Is the stepson or son-in-law or whatever mad at her too?
Yep. I know. I talked to him. He doesn't believe in it.
But he doesn't. he doesn't see this stuff going on?
I don't know. He has to, but
Oh,
I don't know.
now the one we talked earlier before the show about, the
Yeah.
one that I worked, when they invited it back in
Yeah.
completely by accident,
Right.
the people I work with said, we can't help you. They get worse as they come in. You need someone stronger than us now.
Right. Right. They do get worse with every time they come back in.
But what makes you keep putting yourself in the firing line?
Just to help people, quite honestly. And there's, like I say, there's a lot of it. Since the pandemic, it's 9 out of 10. So it's the cases I get.
Any idea why that would happen?
I think people's attitude, for once, it's not that good. I mean, with me, I look around. A lot of anger, a lot of depression. That'll bring it in. The veil is extremely thin right now between the two words.
Is there a reason for that? I mean, it comes and goes with the moon. It comes and goes with the time of year. But is this something beyond normal?
I think so. Definitely. I mean, I had Father tell me we're not in the beginning of the last days. We're not in the end. We're in the middle.
By Father, you mean this is a priest?
Roman Catholic priest.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So he's there to stand by while you're...
Well, he actually does it. He's teaching me little by little how to do it by myself. So.
Well, I'm sure you've seen the same kind of people I have who seem to believe Buffy the Vampire Slayer was real and you can cut these things' heads off, or and how do you convince them these things don't fight fair? They don't stand up and fight you.
I can't.
They go after your grandkids' health.
Exactly. The demon has to, the more activity they get, the more they believe. I can't tell them. They won't listen to me.
Well, some of them apparently don't even pay attention to that if they call it back in there.
I have a case right now. Actually, she called and canceled, but there was a little girl. They called her Anna, and she invited her to come follow her on a trip, and she did. They talked to her. They asked her to move in the bed with them. They asked her to play with them. They're always talking to her, and it's getting worse. They're throwing dishes out. They're not banging her on the walls, and the husband doesn't believe it. He believes it's a small child.
Does he see a child?
I guess once he did.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
I know.
This is the kind of thing, and I'm very grateful you came on the show, because this is the nuts and bolts demonic stuff that people need to understand. But it still bothers me that people are that gullible.
Exactly.
It's incredible. So how did you get started with the ghost hunting part?
Back in college, I had a boyfriend that died. And for 3 nights after he died, I'd wake up and there'd be a white opaque mist next to my bed. Try and get up and go back and forth. My roommate saw it. It went away the day of his funeral. Never saw it again. So I stayed home, raised the kids, but it was always a passion.
When did you manage to finally get back into it, or to start?
15 years ago, I joined a team. I learned hands-on. And then about 5 years ago, I started my own team.
Okay, so your team is Spirit?
Yeah, yes.
Which is Spirit Paranormal Investigations, Texas.
Right.
Okay. And how's it going for you then?
It's going great. We're busy. 2 to 3 cases a week.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Now, when I left Missouri about 1.5 years ago or so, because of COVID, we hadn't had a real case in months and months. In fact, the last one I worked, we had to stop because it was elderly folks, and they were afraid of COVID. And I mean, everyone was at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
So most ghost hunters around Missouri, at least Illinois, was dead. I mean, don't like to say it that way, but
I hear you.
The spirits was dead, and we had very little to do.
Right.
But you're saying now it's picked up since then, or is Texas just a place
been
where
like that? I don't know if it's Texas. I don't know what it is, but it's been like that.
Wow. For how long? For the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So once you got started, tell me, what was your first case without the other team?
Let me see if I can remember. Oh, it was an investigation of an old historic mansion. They wanted to see what was in it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what'd you find? Or did you find anything?
We didn't really find anything, no.
Finally, someone who's willing to admit not every place is crazy haunted.
Exactly.
So what did you eventually find in some of the other places you've been in? What kind of places did you ghost hunt?
Like I said, it was mostly spirit activity, trying to cross it over, trying to get out of the house. Most times, like I said, we were able to do that.
Now, do you do seminars or any of that kind of stuff yet? Or you just...
No, I've been too busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then with the evidence that comes afterwards, that takes a lot of time. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I won't even do EVPs anymore myself because of the hour. You got what, 4 recorders around for 4 hours. That's sitting and listening for 20 hours. And have you noticed you can't get your team to shut up?
Exactly.
They get nervous, they talk.
Right. I can't get them to work evidence. I mean,
well, I'm good with videos and I'm good with photos, but boy, I get tired of sitting and listening to EVPs or listening for them. Yeah. But you did send a few EVPs, didn't you?
I did.
Is those all from demonic cases or some of them from regular hunts?
I think they're all, some of them from regular hunts.
Okay.
A couple of them. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if Race will play us one. And what we'll do is we'll play one, have you describe what happened, and then we'll play it again.
Okay.
And maybe Race ain't ready yet. Okay. So you have a website. I think we're going to be running it here on the screen, but what is your website?
www.spiritparanormalinvestigationstexas.com.
And how long have you had that site?
5 years, ever since I've been up with the...
And where did the paranormal angel come from? I see that on some of your stuff.
My sister coined it for me.
Okay.
And it just kind of stuck.
Well, that's pretty cool then for what you do. I mean, I would say it's an angel who comes in to help with something like that.
Oh, thank you.
I would rather stay away from that sort of thing.
Right.
Just because I'm not pure and innocent enough.
I'm not either, trust me.
Because I know they also go into your history. They know what you've done, unless you have, according to my reading, unless you have, what's the word I'm looking for? Confessed it.
Right.
To a priest.
Yeah. I do that. I do that. I go to confession before each one.
Well, being born and raised Baptist, I don't confess, and I've got way too many skeletons going back too many years for that.
Yeah, I don't believe you need a priest actually to confess.
Really?
That's my belief. I believe you can just do it, confess to God himself.
That would come in handy. He already knows, so I'm not hiding anything from him.
Exactly. Right.
What's the worst demonic case you've done?
That one's tough. The one I'm doing now with the lady who's lost 80 pounds. And
that is okay.
Yeah, and she's getting pushed. I mean, to the fact that she's had her eye socket broken, she's had her sinus cavity broken, she's had her legs broken, her arms, and all due to the demon.
What's her husband or whatever the man in the house saying about that?
Well, he didn't believe it. He believed that she broke things, but he didn't believe all the activity until he stayed home by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden she walked in and he goes, "Now I know what you mean. I'm sorry."
Gee,
I will never do that again. Yeah, really.
Just trying to figure it out. Then how did this stepson or whatever get involved to bring this thing back in?
I don't know. He moved in with them.
Oh, okay.
And so, and then he just started mocking, doesn't believe in it. So started mocking the demons, I want to see you, come with, come. I don't know what he said, but essentially he invited him back in by mocking him.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I'm sure Dad's real happy with that one.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's my kid.
It's frightening. how easy it is to fall under the power of these things.
Right.
And their power is all but limitless.
Right, exactly. They're telling her to turn into oncoming traffic, and people in the car with her actually hear this.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's very audible.
Wow. And you walk into this. Have you ever had it follow you home? Have you ever had it?
No, I've been very lucky. So no. Yeah.
I've had regular spirits follow me home. That's another reason I don't want to get involved in these things.
Right. I understand that.
And not by invitation either.
Yeah. Right. I get it.
So how do you do that? How do you keep yourself from getting so down?
I think it's because I don't have any fear. They can't feed off of anything from me.
But still, you're dealing with nothing but depression, anger, evil.
Right.
I mean, it's like being a prison guard. You never get to deal with good people.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you keep your spirits up?
I'm just I leave it there. I do it and I leave it there.
Well, then you've got more strength than I have, because I used to bring my job home with me all the time.
Yeah.
Just out of far left field here.
Right.
Did you ever see the TV show Lucifer?
I want to, but no, I haven't. I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great. It is not religiously accurate.
Right.
But I thought it was hilarious. So
yeah, I want to go see it. I do want to.
But I have heard some folks that I used to work with put down the Harry Potter books as being evil. And
yeah.
It's like, my God, anything that gets a kid to read is a good thing.
I know exactly. Disney's evil.
Oh, yeah.
Camtasia's evil.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. This is fun. I can't go along with that myself.
No, I can't either. It's going too far.
Hey, Race, are you back yet?
I guess
it's going to be you and me for a while.
That's cool. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Race, can you put up one of the EVPs for us?
I know here at 1 o'clock. Come out and want to talk with us a little bit. See what you say. I want to make your presence known to us. Please speak into this recorder. Show yourself to me tonight. You're a good secret.
What was we listening to, Steph?
That was the case that I had recently. It was a spirit haunt. That they were starting to throw the dishes out, like poltergeist activity. So he said at the beginning, what did I say? That was the first one. He actually, I was trying to talk him into cohabitating with them nicely.
Okay, so this was a human spirit this time.
It was a human spirit, I think. But then they called me evil. They didn't like it.
So who called you evil? The spirit?
The spirit.
Okay. Yeah. When did he do that?
When I was talking to him and telling we had the recorder running, and I was saying, look, you need to work side by side. You need to, not throw the dishes out, not do this, live nicely. And then they said, you're evil.
All right, let's try another one then.
Okay.
What was that one? I couldn't understand that one.
I couldn't either. Quite frankly. That was no. That was the word no.
What was the question?
I couldn't understand it. I'll be honest.
All right.
It was one of the people that lived there.
Okay. All right. Let's try another one then. I think you sent me 4 or 5. So
I did.
Let's give it another one. Did you recognize that one?
No.
Okay.
I need it played one more time, I think. I'm going to look up and see which ones I sent.
That one was pick up the blank now.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know the other word in between.
Okay, stand by.
Okay, I can make that out towards the end.
Yeah.
Pick up the and then now, but I can't understand the other word.
Yeah.
What was you doing at that time? Was there a reason he said that?
Because the spirit apparently goes to the wall and bends over like she's picking up something.
Okay.
So that's what.
Do we have another one, Race?
Yeah, we've got several more. This next one is titled "That's Just Strange."
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Now that one I heard.
that one.
Yeah.
I heard that.
What was the case on that one?
That was the same case.
Okay.
You know, and we'll see. I didn't do a cleanse, so we'll see how it goes.
Can we listen to that one again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how about one more or another one?
This one is just simply titled "Why."
Well, I understood the why, but I couldn't understand what he was asking him.
Yeah, I couldn't. I had to amplify it a lot in
Okay.
order to get the EVP going.
Mhm.
So it distorts the questions.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is titled "Steph 3 Times." I don't know if that one processed wrong somehow whenever I converted it to video format.
The sound, you mean?
Yeah.
That was my Polaroid going off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So right after that, you can hear the Steph underneath.
Right then, I was going to ask if you had toys we had as kids where the cow made a noise when you turned it upside down.
I know.
All right, try that one again.
Okay.
I can definitely make out Steph at the end of one of them.
Yeah.
That
was a demonic. And they do everything in threes, no matter what they do.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's try another one.
All right, we've got two more, and the second to the last one here is just titled Tommy.
Well, I caught the Tommy. Who was he talking to though?
There was a UC in there too before.
A what now?
The words UC was in
Okay.
there. And that was an old one, so I couldn't tell you the case.
Okay. And this last one, the spirits was using a very unpleasing name for you.
Oh yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we can hear this one.
I'm going to leave this one up to everyone else to figure out.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. And that's just creepy.
Yeah,
Not much
it was,
down
wasn't
on
it?
that one.
No, it's class A.
That was the clearest one you've got, I'm sorry to say.
Right? I know, isn't it?
And it's kind of right in the middle of it. So, Race, would you play it one more time for us? Demonic, I assume.
Yes.
And what kind of case was that, Steph?
That was the little boy had invited in because it showed himself as a child. So the little boy brought him in.
Now, I am surprised a child can be held for that. That's enough for a demonic spirit to use.
Exactly. And that's all it takes for him to invite him in.
One that I told you about, the folks said they should have known something was wrong when they bought the house, moved in, and there was crucifixes, like a dozen of them on every wall.
Oh, yeah. There's a clue.
But the house next door had been leveled by the city. It had been a junker, it had fallen apart, so they tore it down.
Yeah.
And the priest that come after us said that the spirit moved from there to this house.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then it was after that, a friend of mine who's a ghost hunter called me up and said, Dan, a friend of mine moved into a house in the same town. Yeah. And want to know if you know anything about it. All right, where's it at? He said, it's on this street. Oh, crap. Yeah. I do know that one. So the guy met me out on the way.
Right.
And I said, look, I can come in, but it's only going to cause you more problems.
Exactly.
If you ignore it, it won't go away, but it will stop what it's doing. Don't give it any attention.
Exactly.
And I'd say 6 months later, he came by the police station to tell me I didn't want to call you on the phone, but when I pull into the yard, sometimes we see it in the window, but it's not doing anything. Your advice worked.
That's good.
And I just didn't want to call you where it could hear me and say that, but
that's rare. I've got the couple now that Anna, little girl was Anna, and they still believe it's a little girl. They treat her as their little daughter or their granddaughter.
So why are they believing this spirit is a human spirit, even though you're telling them this is the source of the problem, which started with this child being the spirit child?
Exactly.
How do you help someone like that, Steph?
I can't until they realize it themselves. And they'll be giving me a call.
I have no doubt.
To know when. So
no, that's foolishness. There's no other word for it. Yeah.
It really is.
You sent a couple of pictures too. What were those?
One was a spirit matter, ectoplasm, and the other one there was a light picture of a person, a spirit.
In a spirit form?
Yeah. I don't know whether to look real hard.
All right, Race, can you hit that one up for us? This is what?
That's the spirit matter, the ectoplasm.
I have never yet seen ectoplasm, I guess. So, I mean, 30 years and I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
What is it from? I remember the old con artist made flour, water, and some other stuff and was pulling it out of orifices.
Yeah.
But for reality what is it?
It's spirit matter. It comes from the spirit. Now, I don't know whether they're leaving it when they go. I don't know whether it's disintegrating. I have no idea. But it is spirit matter.
Inside of that, and it may be just my mind trying to put something together, but I almost see a face in that. Is that true, or is that pareidolia?
I see it too. I do see it.
Okay, and
it looks like the Grinch.
Well, I was thinking it looked kind of like something with a long nose.
Yes.
And I see its left eye would be looking towards you right now.
Could be, because that place is extremely haunted. Extremely haunted.
But those are human spirits.
No, I think they were demonic personally.
Okay.
They were mixed. The demonics were holding them.
What kind of place was this?
This was out in a little town outside of Houston. It used to be a plantation.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are spirits of the plantation people that were slaves, and they also had demonic that were keeping them there.
So this place had a history of very torturous, bad
Exactly.
bad times.
Exactly.
Depression, of course.
Oh yeah.
Taking freedom away is I'd rather be shot than
Right.
just put me up against the wall rather than take my freedom.
I know.
And so this is what's left of these people who lived under it, plus the demonic
Right.
activity that's there.
Exactly.
Was it
Wait.
the lifestyle of that time and what the owners were doing that brought the demon?
Exactly. He was mean. I guess horribly mean to them. But you know what's really strange? Out here in Sugarland, we had there was a parcel of land that was a plantation that when the slaves were first released, some of them didn't know what to do.
Right.
How to make money. So he told them, come over with me. I'll pay you. You'll still be free and yada, yada. And he literally worked them to death.
So he didn't improve them. In fact, may have made it
Yeah.
worse on them.
And when they die, he just throw them in a pit.
Wow.
So I went over there and did some EVPs and tried to cross them over. But you know what they built on top of that?
What?
They built a school building, believe it or not.
Oh, I'll bet the school building's got activity, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I bet they do. I don't know.
I've been through several school buildings that had activity.
Right.
I think it's because the people die and they go back to where they were at their happiest.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's not what you're going to be dealing with in this place.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, there's another picture, Race. Could you bring that up? What are we looking at on this one?
Okay, there's I see a face in there.
Okay, and you sent another one. Was it a closer one? A little different. Same. This was 3 photos taken.
Probably, yeah. I generally take 3 in a row.
Okay, so whatever that thing is, he's there. In the center.
Yes.
Kind of has a weird mouth and
exactly
a triangular shaped head or a hat.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of a place was this where you got it?
This was the shadow demon, where the shadow demon was possessing the girl.
Okay, and how did that case work out?
Like I said, we had the holder for half hour, 45 minutes, and Father just said you have to say I love Jesus 3 times, which she did, and then it was broken. The demon was gone.
Okay, so this must have been a low level.
Yeah, well,
that's
according to him, shadow demons are the most dangerous. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says.
All right, now let me throw this one out just out of curiosity. Is all shadow people demonic?
No.
Okay. I didn't either, but I've spoke to another exorcist recently who believed they were.
Yeah, no, I don't. Some people believe elementals are all demonic. I don't. I've got a case where I can't get rid of him. He's a dwarf, and
really,
yeah. It came to me, and I had all my REM pod devices set out. Doesn't talk audibly, but I said, "Are you a dwarf?" And it set everything off simultaneously.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I don't know much about elementals. I've never had to deal with them, but they are intriguing. What do you think this is? Is it a human? Is it a creature of the earth?
It is a creature of the earth. They're in a whole separate elementals in a whole separate class. Like the fairies and
leprechauns and elves.
Right.
Do those live in flesh and blood then?
I couldn't tell you about that.
Okay.
I do know we left him an offering of beer. And supposedly when we went to look, and if nobody messed with it, he had opened a can of beer. So
it was a leprechaun. I'm going to give the Irish that one. I can belie that.
There you go.
I would have opened it. So
yeah.
Okay, so the elementals then are something of the earth, unlike us.
Yeah,
definitely. But they are citizens of the earth, I guess you would say.
Yeah, or keeper of the earth. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they get really mad because they don't think the humans are taking care of it well enough.
Well, I have to throw in with them on that when we are not. But
I know.
And this, what's going on overseas right now is just
it's horrible.
horrendous. Yeah.
Horrible.
And I'm sure they don't care for that either. So
No.
would Sasquatch and such creatures as that fall into elementals, or is that something totally different?
That's something totally different.
Oh,
They're closer to man than anything. Yeah, I don't know what it falls into, quite frankly.
so talking with you, it's like there may be more of a paranormal world than there even is a normal world. There's
Exactly.
so much out there.
You forgot aliens too.
Yeah, I try to forget that.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing I can't fight. So.
Right. They're supposedly they're demonic, some of them. A lot of them.
And what, you believe that?
From my experience, yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I don't believe they're good. I don't know about demonic, but I don't believe they're good, some of them.
Well, Whitley Strieber will be actually lecturing at the XCon, which is a conference we'll have here on this
cool.
network in May 13th and 14th. But I have heard him discuss things like that all of this is connected somehow. Would you agree with that?
I definitely would agree with that.
So the elementals, the cryptids, the ghosts, and us are all somehow interconnected.
Definitely. I believe that too.
How do we find out more about working with them? Because they may have answers to questions we don't.
Right. I found the best, EVPs is one good way. Meditations another way. I've never done that to get in touch with them, but I've heard that's a good way to do it.
Okay.
Deep enough.
Well, in the 3 or 4 minutes we have left here, what would you advise people to avoid demonic cases and the kind of things you've been doing?
Right. Never invite a spirit in your dreams, or they'll come to your dreams, or in person. No Ouija boards. No, nothing like Ouija boards. That opens up a portal. You don't know if you closed it or not, and what's there is not going to go away.
Okay. People will throw in my particular choice in ghost hunting devices is dowsing rods. They've worked for me, and I love them. And of course, I always have a camera going, a video camera, so I've got EVPs on that.
Right.
But some people try to compare those to a Ouija board. Is there a difference in those two? Is one safer than the other?
I think the dowsing rods are safer.
Okay.
It's on the fence, I think. I have a pair, but I haven't used them, quite frankly. I'm going to start using them. It depends what your mindset is,
Okay. Well, now my thing has always been it is intent. Yeah. My intent is to talk to spirits. And I have only, like I said, I got called in on the demonic case just as you did.
Yeah.
But I don't fall into them because that is not my intent.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I think Ouija boards, I compare a Ouija board to a handgun. If it's in the right hands, it's an incredibly good tool that can save lives.
Yeah.
If it's in the wrong hands, it can really destroy worlds. It can destroy a family. It's a terrible thing.
Right.
Unless you know what you're doing with it. And
I'm real experienced to do the Ouija board.
But how would you get that?
Even you see the Demon Hunter, right?
No, I don't watch much of the television.
Okay, he calls himself the Demon Hunter. He uses Ouija boards, but he also has attachments from that.
Okay, and
so I still think Ouija boards are to stay away from, in my opinion.
Okay, and that's we all have our own opinions on all of this.
Yeah.
So, definitely. How can people get hold of you if they have a problem in the Houston or surrounding areas of Texas?
They can email me at spirit.stephb@gmail.com or call me 713-851-7920.
Okay. Well, Steph Brady, you've been through a lot with the cancer. You've been through a lot with this, and I cannot believe you haven't had an attachment come home yet with the demonics. I pray that you don't. But you have done an awesome job, and I'm sure there's a lot of families who are very grateful for your help.
I hope so. They are. They don't want to see me again, but they are.
I understand that.
Right.
Because if they see you, that means things have went south really
Exactly.
bad.
Yeah.
But you've got at least 2 more families you think will be contacting you because of
Yes.
what they've
Definitely.
got.
One
Well,
pending.
I will ask the folks out there to keep these families in their prayers, because prayer is the only thing I know that works against these creatures.
Most definitely.
And Steph, thank you for being a guest.
And thank you for
And I hope
having
we
me.
talk again soon.
Oh, definitely.
All
you
right.
have a good day.
Take care of yourself.
All right. You too.
All right. Again, demonics, not something I want to be a part of, but it is a very, very real part of ghost hunting. And anyone who's a ghost hunter needs to understand the hallmarks of the case, needs to understand what this could be. Again, the guy come to me one night. I was working a late shift. He showed up, spent an hour talking about sports, trucks, work, and then he was so embarrassed to actually bring it up. And the more he told me about what was going on, because I had read about it, I was well aware what he may be dealing with. And I called in the experts. I am not an expert. I've read the books, and I know that this is not something I'm prepared to fight. But I'll also say again, it's intent. I have not come across one since, and I hope I never have to. So, folks, I do want to bring up just real quick, we have a new issue of the Unx magazine out. This one is specifically aimed more at elementals, which I did not tell her that. She brought up elementals. I wasn't ready for that. But you can get it in print or e-copy at the unxnetwork.com/Unx magazine. I've got both a print copy, and I had another print copy that I sent to a friend because I have an article in this on a Ouija board museum in St. Louis. And that article goes from the history. Parker Brothers did not start this. This Ouija board type of thing actually started with the Chinese and the Egyptians. But it was a guy who wanted to be a toy maker who started it. And his name, I don't remember off the top of my head, but he got it to William Fold. William Fold sold these things. Him and his brother separated. They argued and split the company. Both of them were producing Ouija boards. And then, of course, it was eventually sold to Parker Brothers. And one interesting aspect is Fold was told by the Ouija board to build a new factory in a certain town. And while he was on the roof, a poorly attached handrail gave way and he fell to his death. He was there because he said the board told him to be there. And yet it killed him. So that article is there. Also, Dr. Mark Farley with St. Louis Paranormal Research Society has a huge collection of Ouija boards and similar devices. And he gets, on average, 1 to 2 a week. People will send him Ouija boards with spirits attached to them because they want it out of their house. There's a particularly good story about the post office in Chicago calling him and wanting it out of their building because it was sent from England through Chicago to St. Louis, and he had to tell them what it was because of all the havoc it was creating. So there's a huge article on Ouija boards that I wrote. You need to check that out. But the magazine itself has Cherokee legend of the little people. They discuss, Lee Spiegel interviews Ray Hernandez, and both of them will be on the X conference. There's an article on ghosts in graveyards and the 1973 Grand Tower UFO case, which is an amazing case. So again, pick up your copy of Unx magazine, either in the e-version or the print version. There's a lot of good stories in it, and you'll be glad you did. Lastly, let's talk just real briefly about the X Conference, our X-Con Into the Rabbit Hole. And I've talked about it. I can go over all the good points again about COVID. You're at home. It's $29 a day. You can sit in your chair, watch it on your smart TV or on your computer screen. And you don't have to worry about COVID, don't have to worry about high gas prices, high food prices, finding a hotel room, driving across the country. Everything is done from your living room or wherever your computer is. The speakers are listed below, or most of them. Lee Spiegel, Micah Hanks is going to be talking about historical Sasquatch sightings, things in the history books about him. Jimmy Church is going to be talking about that weird alien or whatever it was that came by the earth a few years ago. And I will butcher this name, but it was called Omawamba something. Anyway, it was a huge, some say it was a rock. Some say it was a spacecraft. Some say it was something designed by an alien race and sent out. You have to watch it and make up your own mind. Lisa Martin is going to be talking about the famous Joplin spook light. Katie Grabowski is going to be talking about high strangeness in Colorado, and Whitley Strieber about contact, alien contact in the Golden City. And me, well, I'm going to be showing you some videos of some really, really wild ghost hunts I've been on, evidence I've collected. No demons, guarantee it. So for Cowboy Bones back here and all of us at the Onyx Network, I want to tell you all to stay spooked.